Kindergartens, it's Mrs. Simus, and today I'm away from my table and I'm in the kitchen because today we're going to look for an object around your house. So I find one of the easiest places to find different objects is in the kitchen. So, let me see. I'm going to open some drawers. Let me see what I'm going to find. Something interesting. Something interesting. Let me see, maybe this. Maybe my favorite cookbook. And maybe I'll go over here. I'm having a hard time deciding what I want to choose. Let me see. Need something really good. How about, oh, this is kind of cool. Okay, so I have 3 objects, and what I want to do is to be able to describe the objects. Now, we have to remember what our description words are. We have our describing words like things are big, things are little, things are tall, things are small, things are heavy, things are light, right? So they can be other things too. If we really take the object and we take a good look at it. Now, I have to be super careful with this one because it's a little sharp. So I want you to make sure when you pick your object to make sure if it is sharp or you need some help, make sure you ask an adult or a big brother and sister. Okay, so this is actually for making noodles. So it's for taking zucchini and things like that and for turning them into noodles. And it actually makes them into a spiral shape. I ran out of zucchinis or I would show you. But the most important thing that we're going to look at for this is, okay, so if I look at this object, if I look at the noodle maker is smaller than my hand, but it's bigger than my watch, right? Now, if I look at it closer and I look at the shapes, remember how we do that? We have to remember those 2D shapes, and those 2D shapes are our circles, our squares, our rectangles, and our triangles. If I look very closely, I can say that there is a circle shape on my noodle maker. And look, another circle shape on the other side. So both sides have circles on them. And remember in class we talked about that as the face. So that's like the face of the shape. So this shape here has 2 circles for the faces, right? Then it's also very smooth, right? So it has a smooth body all the way around. Now, this is our favorite part. Let's see, how does it move? Does it move or does it not move? Okay, so let's take a look. So, Maddie, are you ready? Okay, here we go. We're gonna see if we can push it over to Madison. Ah, and it rolls. So this can roll, but can it always roll? Let's think about that. What if I try and roll it this time, putting it on the circle face? Okay, Maddie, are you ready? It didn't roll that time. So this shape here, this object can roll, but if it's laying flat on its face, it can't roll. Okay, let's look at something different. This is a sifter, a flour sifter, actually. I got it for Christmas. Now, this is used to put flour inside of, and you can sift it so that the flour doesn't have any big bumps. But if we look, just like our noodle maker, the sifter also has the shape of a circle around on both sides. But if we try and move it, do you think Mrs. Simus's sifter is going to roll the same as my noodle maker did? Okay, so let's take a look. Well, it seems kind of smooth, but let's take a look. Okay, I can't get it to roll. So that means that this object here cannot roll, right? It can slide slide, but it can't roll. Okay, let's look at my cookbook. So the cookbook is about the same size as actually they're almost exactly the same size as my sifter, right? Now the sifter is a little bit bigger than the cookbook, but the cookbook is a lot bigger than the noodle maker. So let's look at the cookbook. So the cookbook is still a 3D shape because it has all different sides, right? Remember, 3D shapes have sides and 2D shapes are completely flat. So if I look at my cookbook, I have very different shapes on my cookbook than I did on my noodle or on my sifter. I have a rectangle face, another rectangle face, and then if you look, I have some more rectangles that make up my book, but they're a lot smaller rectangles. So we can describe the book. The book is smooth so that we know that it's able to slide, right? We know that it's bigger than Mrs. Steiness's noodle maker. We know that we could also talk about the color. We have some yellow in this book. And we know it has some corners. So if I tap, there's a corner. Whereas our noodle maker didn't have any corners because it was a circle, right? And we can touch those corners. We can even count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 corners on Mrs. Steiness's cookbook. Now, do you think Mrs. Steiness's cookbook can roll? Let's see. Let's try it. It can flip, but it can't roll. So we know that for this to move, it can just slide. It can't move by rolling because it doesn't have smooth edges and smooth sides like our noodle. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to find something around the house and I want you to describe it to somebody at home. Okay? Have a great day. I'm going to put all these things away. Good work, kindergarten.